call this October 22nd, 2018, regular meeting of the City of Coolidge City Council to order. We'll have the invocation by Pastor John Johnson with the Community Presbyterian Church. And after that, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Good evening. You know, at a time when we see that people can lose their lives for political dissent, we realize that the freedoms that we have are a privilege. And they're a privilege that I happen to believe is a gift of God. And so if you join me in prayer, O Lord, as these men and women gather together in an atmosphere of freedom, please be with them. Give them the wisdom they need, the good spirit they need, and the humor they need to be faithful servants, not just of this community, but of you yourself. And we ask this in the name of my Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Norma, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Jimmy Walker. Councilmember Steve Hudson.
Here.
Councilmember Robert Huddleston.
Here.
Mayor John Thompson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry.
Here.
Councilmember Joseph Marsh. And Councilmember Tatiana Murieta. We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay, under item number 4, under presentations, is a presentation of an award of appreciation to TransCanada. This is discussion only. I see Mr. LaPaglia has that.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. We have TransCanada here tonight. Just a little summary on what they've given the city this year. Over $4,000 to the youth center to provide supplies for our game room and our center, as well as money that went directly towards scholarships for kids who couldn't afford to go to our summer program, Kids Camp. So that was able to send a lot of kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to participate, as well as $2,000 to the adult center to redo the countertops in their kitchen. And as I said, that's just for this past fiscal year. They've given more. You know, it seems like we have them here a few times a year doing something good for our citizens, our community. You know, I'll have the Coolidge Youth Coalition up here later. They're benefactors of their generosity as well. So we just wanted to present them with the plaque of our appreciation for everything they do for us year in and year out, and the money they donate that goes really directly towards the youth of Coolidge and the senior citizens of Coolidge. So, Mr. Turner? I'm going to say a few words.
You know, I always just want to say that I'm pretty blessed in what I'm able to do. I don't earn the money or anything like that. I work hard, but you know, I was privileged enough to come back to, you know, the communities I grew up in, and to work for a company that is benevolent as TransCanada, to allow me to do things within the community that I never would have been able to do. And I love giving back. You know, I'm big on the kids, and I'm big on the veterans. I'm big on the senior citizens, you know, so get out there, support your kids, support the youth in the community, do what you can, support our veterans, and we appreciate all of you. And thank you.
Looks like item number 5 is the introduction of the newly hired employees for the City of Coolidge. Looks like Vanessa Perea. Welcome.
Good evening. It is the city's goal to hire valuable employees to fill vacant or much-needed positions within the city of Coolidge. For the period beginning May 1st, 2018 through October 17th, 2018, the following employees were hired within various departments and are being introduced as new hires for the city. With the library, we have Victoria Murphy as librarian. The police department, Joel Martinez. Not present, Kirsten Jeffers with the records department. With public works, we have John Gavassos. Not present. Tony Montano. And also not present, Catherine Wing with our transit department. Welcome.
Welcome aboard. We're glad that you're here. Okay, we ready? Item number 6, proclamation, 2018 Extra Mile Day. Let me find that. Okay. Is there anybody here for this proclamation? Not seeing anybody approach. I will go ahead and read it. 2018 Extra Mile Day. Whereas the City of Coolidge is a community which acknowledges that a special vibrancy exists within the entire community when it is individual citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And whereas the City of Coolidge is a community which encourages its citizens to maximize their personal contribution to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their individual ambitions, family, friends, and community. And whereas the City of Coolidge is a community which chooses to shine a light on celebrate individuals and organizations within its community who go the extra mile in order to make a difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And whereas the City of Coolidge acknowledges the mission of the Extra Mile America to create 550 extra mile cities in America and is proud to support Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2018. Now therefore, I, John Thompson, Mayor of the City of Coolidge, do hereby proclaim November 1st, 2018 to be Extra Mile Day. I urge each individual in the community to take time on this day to not only go the extra mile in his or her own life, but to also acknowledge all those who are inspirational in their efforts and commitment to make their organizations, families, community, country, or world a better place. Item number 7 is another proclamation, Arizona Cities and Towns Week 2018. Is there anybody here to speak to that?
No, actually, Mayor, that was an item that came before the cities and towns with the Arizona League City and Towns, just reaching out to different municipalities, encouraging us to issue a proclamation to acknowledge the services that the city does for their community. So,
Okay, then I suppose I had to read it.
thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Whereas the citizens of the City of Coolidge rely on the city to experience a high quality of life in our community, and whereas cities and towns in Arizona work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver vital city services such as fire, police and emergency medical response to ensure safe communities, and whereas cities and towns in Arizona also provide service and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents such as parks, utilities, street maintenance, sanitation, and recycling services, libraries, community centers, and recreational programs. And whereas it is important for the City of Coolidge to continue to provide excellent delivery of services and programs that our citizens have come to expect in our community. And whereas it is one of the responsibility of city officials to ensure open and accessible government through frequent communication with citizens using various avenues and means. And whereas through participation and cooperation, citizens, community leaders, local businesses, and the municipal staff can work together to ensure that community services provided by the City of Coolidge can remain exceptional elements of the quality of life of our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, John Thompson, Mayor of the City of Coolidge, hereby joins the League of Cities and Towns and fellow municipalities across the state of Arizona in declaring October 21st through October 27th, 2018 as Arizona Cities and Towns Week 2018 in the City of Coolidge, and encourage all citizens to observe this celebration. Number 8, under presentations, is the monthly report and business spotlight recognitions by the Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. I don't have a spotlight for tonight, but next month we should be able to get that rolling again. But I wanted to take a minute and comment on the Pinal Partnership Breakfast. Nothing made me prouder than when the mayor was on council on that panel and was talking to everybody about the new trucking company coming in. But I think one of the greatest things I saw there when he had staff and people that helped make this project come to fruition, and they were acknowledged there. I can't tell you how I felt in the room, and I think other people appreciated that. And then to talk to you about Arizona Lifeline ribbon cutting, Air Medical that we went to or had. It's a great asset to our community. Reinvestments for August, Phil and Sue Bacon, Coolidge Church of the Nazarene, Dr. D. Grant Walton, Bright International, Little Caesars Pizza, Bottle Stop, Coolidge Bookkeeping, Arizona Captured Beauty. Our websites are at 163,073 hits. Our walk-ins are at 546. Phone calls at 242. We sent out one relocation packet for Mitchell, Nebraska. Top states that visit us was Colorado and Texas. Top foreign country was Canada. Our visits from the ruins for August were 1,594. Year-to-date is 50,382. We're still down about almost 14%. But, Mayor, I know you and Dave, the superintendent, is working on some, so they can't raise that other raise. I know you're working hard on that. Events coming up is October 25th, Game Night. October 27th is our annual banquet, which will be a great evening. If you haven't got your tickets, you can get them online. It's a time when we honor businesses and people in our community that have done great things. October 31st is the Haunted House and Carnival. November 1st will be our Breakfast with the Mayor. And to remind you, November 6th is Election Day. Make your vote count. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9, monthly report of the Coolidge Youth Coalition. Good evening.
Hi. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. My name is Sharon Boyd, and I'm the director of the Coolidge Youth Coalition. Tonight, I would like to give you an update on CYC, DFC, and what we have planned for our last year of DFC funding in Coolidge. I'm used to standing up here at this podium giving you sobering updates. Not tonight. The news is all good. Most of our Coolidge kids are not on drugs. Over 80% of our youth have no interest in doing drugs. They believe drugs are wrong, they are listening to their parents, and they are listening to their community. Our Coolidge stats put drug use among our youth at an historic low. While the opioid and heroin crisis is raging among adults in Arizona and across America, our past day, 30-day use among our kids of opioids is less than 10%. We are showing record lows with our youth across the board on dangerous drugs. CYC, Mandy and I, are very proud of these stats, and we understand that having the Drug-Free Communities grant in Coolidge these past 10 years has contributed in a large part to these numbers. We also understand the protective factors that our key stakeholders in our community, our law enforcement, our schools, our family, the City of Coolidge, and our sponsors have put in place are working. Prevention works. Prevention saves lives. I believe that tonight congratulations are in order for the City of Coolidge, our partners, and of course, to the youth of Coolidge themselves that we serve. Well done. CYC has also just received funding from TransCanada for a youth leadership campaign, including anti-bullying, kindness rocks, peer mentoring, art murals, and more. We will be honoring Dave Turner at a future City Council meeting. Dave, I'm going off script here. We are so very grateful to you. You have helped our youth in Coolidge with the generosity that is unmeasured. You have helped kids, Dave, that you will never know, but we know, and they know. So thank you from the bottom of CYC's heart for what you've done for our youth in Coolidge, what you've done for CYC. It's unmeasured, and we are in your debt. Thank you. CYC will soon be announcing a save the date for our final DFC fundraising event, our Boot Scoot Barbecue. Funds collected at this event will go towards our 2019 Safe and Sober Grad Night and also to CYC scholarships. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Vice Mayor, and City Council for your continued support. Mandy and I and the Coolidge kids that we serve are so grateful. I would like to leave you with this thought. Think big, and don't listen to people who tell you it can't be done. Life is too short to think small. Thank you for supporting CYC and DFC these 10 years as we continue to think big and accomplish even bigger things. Now Mandy's going to speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Mandy Alexander, and I'm the project coordinator for the Coolidge Youth Coalition. We are happy to be here tonight to tell you about some of the projects that CYC kids are working on. Last month, you heard from our CYC Youth Liaison, Jackie Casillas, and her experience at the Youth Empowerment Retreat down in Tucson. CYC is proud to be one of the first youth empowerment partners to celebrate middle and high school youth in Coolidge and all of Pinal County. The Youth Empowerment Partners hold quarterly events, with our next one happening on Friday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Redemption Church in Casa Grande. Coolidge Youth Coalition will be taking kids from both CUSD and Imagine. The Youth Matters Celebrate Youth event will provide young people with the knowledge and tools that will encourage them to make healthy choices and find resiliency in the face of modern day challenges. The empowerment events are free and open to any and all middle school and high school youth in Pinal County. If you would like more information on the Youth Empowerment Partners, please contact me at cycmandyalexander@gmail.com, or my cell phone is 520-858-5563. CYC is currently working with the College and Career Counselor at the Coolidge Alternative Program to help build a job shadowing program. Job shadowing has shown to have many benefits for high school students to get them thinking about what career path they are interested in, learn about different types of jobs, network with professionals, and get a head start on introduction into the workforce. CYC is able to help CAP build this program thanks to our amazing partners like TransCanada, who do just about anything to support youth here in Coolidge. CYC would like to give a special thank you to Dave Turner and Dave Sansick for their support towards this program. When we approached them about job shadowing, they immediately opened their doors to the opportunity. CAP will have their first student going out on a job shadow this Wednesday at TransCanada Generating Station here in Coolidge. We know that TransCanada will provide them a safe learning environment for students to gain valuable skills and experiences that contribute to their future careers. And last but not least, CYC will be attending GAIN this Thursday. We are looking forward to the event and sharing our prevention resources with the community. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have done a great job. I didn't think 10 years ago we'd be in this position ever, but that's good. You've done a good job.
Mr. Mayor, you have helped us.
Well, the community's done a lot, and I think the kids have grown up and realized that drugs aren't the answer for them. Okay, next is the call to the public. This is,
Mayor,
this is,
if I could just interrupt you, we had one of our new employees show up a little late. As you can see, he had to bring his whole family. So
Oh, that
I would like to
explains it.
introduce him at this time, but I would also like to acknowledge that he is also my brother. So John Cavazos is the new employee in the sanitation department for Public Works, so.
well,
and his
welcome aboard.
family.
He seems a lot taller, Norma.
Yeah, he is taller. He's the youngest.
Something's going on.
Right.
Yeah,
So do you want to stand up, John? This is his family. Him and
welcome
his family.
aboard.
Thank you, Mayor.
You bet. Okay, now is the time for the call to the public. This is the time where if you need to address the council on any issues, you have 3 minutes. You can come up and please state your name and your address at the podium, and we will listen to what you have to say. If you are here to speak on an issue that's already on the agenda, I'd ask that you wait until we call that issue and then come up and say something. Because we do have actually 3 public hearings coming up right now. So this is a call to the public. If anybody has anything to say, please step forward. So everybody's froze, so we're going to move on. Thank you. We're out of call to the public. We'll move into public hearings, item 10, to receive public comments on portions of land located in sections 8, 9, 16, and 17, Township 6 South, Range 8 East of the Gila and Salt River Basin Meridian of the Pinal County, known as the PLH CLEC 2 annexation. Mr. Lopez?
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members. As you know, we have entered into a development agreement with St. Holdings and Jakob Anderson and his group, also known as Pinal Land Holdings. And through the development agreement, we're obligated to annex all the 11,000 plus acres that he's actually purchased or is purchasing from the city of Mesa. So this is a continual effort to bring in the rest of this property and some other pieces of it into the city. This is 647 acres that we have here that is located a little bit south of Randolph Road and along La Palma. So to the upper left is, maybe Robbie can help me center that a little better. There you go. So the if you see Randolph Road there, and then up it's south it's about a mile long as far. Yeah. So just so you can see, right there in that area is Twilight Trails. So Twilight Trail is up on the northwest of this property, but it's a single owner annexation with Pinal Land Holdings, St. Holdings, and we just want to open up a public hearing for this. We had we filed a blank annexation petition with the county, and it's required that we hold a public hearing within the last 10 days of the 30-day waiting period. So that's what we're doing tonight, and so that requirement was satisfied. We also are having this public hearing, and we'll be back. We're just having the public hearing. We'll be back for action when we'll come back, and we'll file an infrastructure and services plan for you to look at on how we're going to service property, and also that's before you actually take final action to bring the property into the city. So this is just a public hearing at this point, and I'll be here to answer any questions. I know I already had some people asking me a few questions about this property, but any activity on this property will be coming through the Planning and Zoning Commission as far as conditional use permits or other things, so they'll be forthcoming. There's some other things that are planned, but they move at different areas because we have so much property. Okay.
And this is only one owner. This is only St. Holdings on this annexation.
Mayor, that's correct. Yeah, there are 4 parcels, but only one owner at this
Okay.
point.
All right, this is a public hearing. If anybody wants to address this, please step forward. Okay, seeing none, we'll move out of this public hearing, and we'll move to item 11, and move into a public hearing to receive public comments on portions of the land located in the southeast quarter, section 36, of Township 6 South, Range 7 East of the Gila and Salt River Basin Meridian of Pinal County, Arizona, lying south of the Florence-Casa Grande Canal, known as the PLH Selma 2 annexation. Mr. Lopez?
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members, again, this is part of the the Mesa Water Farm purchase through St. Holdings, Pinal Land Holdings. This, if you notice the area, that area there is already part of the city limits. This is the northwest corner of Selma Highway and 11 Mile Corner. It's south of Tierra Grande. And so that completes that portion of it. The bottom part is not in the city at this time. They could be in the future if they decide they want to come in. All the area to the north is vacant land right now. It doesn't, there's, in this area there's some houses. So the houses are up quite a, quarter mile or so away to the north. And then there's also, this line here is the canal. So there's a barrier between this property and anything to the north in Tierra Grande. So that's the canal that goes through there. But again, this is opening up the public hearing. Within the time frame, we filed a blank petition with the county. And so again, we'll be back with an infrastructure services plan, how we're going to serve this property. And that's before we introduce the annexation ordinance to you for action at a later date. So we ask you to have a public hearing on this property. Thank you.
Mr. Lopez, how many owners does this involve?
It's a single owner annexation. Again, Pinal Land Holdings.
Okay. All right, and the single owner is obviously aware of this?
Excuse me, yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions?
That's St. Holdings, right? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a public hearing. If anybody wants to address this issue, please step forward. Okay.
Steve, did you have something?
No, Gilbert, the Mesa came down and bought all this property for the water rights, correct? A long time ago.
Mayor Thompson, Councilmember Hudson, yes, correct.
And so, does St. Holdings have the water rights for this, or does the city of Mesa still retain it?
No, the as far as we're aware, the water rights transfer with the property when
So which
Jacob
is
has
going to be good for Pinal County, because Mesa came down to buy it to transfer that water to Mesa, is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, Mesa found another way to get the water, I think with Gila River, and is
Thank
selling
you.
all this property.
Thanks.
Seeing nobody else approach, we'll move out of this public hearing on item 11, and on item 12, we will move into a public hearing to receive public comments on a proposed amendment of Section 302 of the City of Coolidge zoning code to revise the definition of garage private. It's a public hearing. Mr. Lopez?
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members, the Planning and Zoning has been working with staff to update the zoning code in different areas where we feel it needs some tweaking. So this is one of those areas where they thought our definition of private garage was a little restrictive, or it wasn't clear enough on what was allowed. Because I believe that, as you can see, the staff report, before it was fairly a long paragraph, and it talked about the number of units, the vehicles, and it said that they had to be, I believe, self-propelled. So there was some discussion that maybe it wouldn't allow like boats or other things that you can have in there. And this would still be private garage. So anything, if there's a zoning violation or any issues such as that, we could still deal with that through the zoning designation itself, because it's private. So they can't have vehicles here where they're stored and then they charge for it like a commercial garage. So that's how we would deal. That was my concern originally when it first came up. I just wanted to make sure we can deal with that, and I'm very confident we can. So I don't have an issue with it. And so staff is supporting this change. It changes it to say completely enclosed accessory building or accessory portion of the main building used for shelter or storage of self-propelled vehicles, recreational vehicles and or boats. So it allows for those different types of vehicles in there, in the building itself. So we're recommending that based on the discussion, we had a public hearing, we had no comments against it, so P&Z voted to support it, and we're bringing it forward for your consideration and support. I'll answer any questions you may have after the public hearing or during.
Mr. Lopez, most of the residences in our community now that have garages are the newer ones, and they have most of them have HOAs. Is this going to in any way impact? I mean, will the HOAs still be able to control some things in there, or if the city says they can have them and the HOA says they can't, do you anticipate any problems?
Mayor Thompson, no. The HOA rules aren't enforced by the city, and a lot of times they're more restrictive. So when you purchase a property, you have to abide by them, or they have their own method of enforcement. Sometimes we get involved. This really is more, when we started looking at this was when we came to you and changed how we were treating garages in 1 acre areas. If you recall, we allowed the expansion of the size of garages in agricultural areas. So we looked at that and thought, okay, this was related to that. So that started the discussion on this. The HOAs are fine. They're not going to be affected in any way. Hope that answered it.
You have any, the other one was for tractors. Do you have anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
Vice Mayor? How about in the audience? Anybody have anything? Okay. Not seeing anybody approach, we'll move out of that public hearing. We'll move into the business items for consent. Does anybody here want any of them? 15? Okay. All right. So, I'm going to read the other ones. On the business items for consent, number 13. Consider approval of ratifying the property lease agreement between the City of Coolidge and Fischel Company dated October 15, 2018, for the purposes of leasing city-owned property located at the southwest corner of 3rd and Palo Verde Street to store their construction equipment and supplies. 14. Consider approval of entering into an emergency base station agreement and emergency medical services restocking agreement between the City of Coolidge Fire Department and Banner Health, doing business as Banner Casagrande Medical Center for base hospital services, authorizing the mayor to execute the necessary documents. Item 16. Consider approval of accepting a Governor's Office of Highway Safety 2019 DUI Enforcement Grant, contract number 2019 Adam Larry 013 in the amount of $15,870 awarded to the Coolidge Police Department for DUI enforcement detail overtime and ERE expenses, phlebotomy and miscellaneous supplies to enhance DUI impaired driving enforcement, authorizing the city manager and police chief to execute the GOHA's contract. 17. Consider approval of entering into an intergovernmental agreement number 2018-01 regarding reimbursement of salary, overtime, and employee-related expenses incurred due to the Coolidge Police Department's participation in the Pinal County Narcotics Task Force ACJC grant number DC-19-010. And item 18, consider approval of the claims for the month of September 2018.
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion we approve consent agenda items 13, 14, 16, 17, and 18 as read.
Second.
Okay, so motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to number 15. Consider approval of accepting a Governor's Office of Highway Safety 2019 Selective Traffic Enforcement Program STEP Equipment Grant. Contract number 2019 PTS-012 in the amount of $12,659 awarded to the Coolidge Police Department for the purchase of one solar-powered radar sign, authorizing the city manager and police chief to execute the GOHS contract. I'm sorry, okay. Chief, welcome.
Welcome. Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, and council members. Be happy to answer any questions that you have on this.
Okay, I don't have any. I assume Councilmember.
I don't have any questions. This is the same old story, right? And I know Steve's rolling his eyes at me. But look, it's amazing. Excuse me. Amazing to me how we just don't even consider these things anymore. You can take personal responsibility to control your speed. The whole worldview behind these kinds of things is directly in opposition to the Founding Fathers, the Constitution, everything. It goes along the socialistic paradigm that says Big Daddy must take care of you. Big Daddy doesn't need to take care. You don't need to empower us with anything else. We don't need to tax you to buy signs to tell you to slow down. Everybody just slows down. We just keep on building big government all over, at every turn. I remember a couple of years ago, we hired an umpire. Why? Is that the government's role? It's not our role. And these little nitpicking things along the way that we don't even think about. Is that really what you want? Really? I don't want it. I wish we would be honest and just stand outside the door, put the hat out, and if you want to pay for a radar sign to tell you to slow down, freely put your money in. But if it's up to me, and I don't know how many other people out there that love liberty and would like to have their tax money back, we would just walk on by. I don't want to pay taxes for that. Just watch our speedometers and let people be free. There was an idea at, I think it was Ben Franklin, that said, those who trade liberty for security deserve neither. That's what we're doing here. We just keep on doing it. We keep on pecking away. And it's coming from your pockets to do something. You can't have freedom without responsibility. It's impossible. And we're responsible to look at our own speedometer and police ourselves. You don't need Big Daddy to help you with that, or to ride in your car, or to hold your hand, change your diaper, whatever. We don't need more government. We need less. That's part of the problem. People are coming up from down south, Honduras, Guatemala. Why do they come to America? Why are they wanting to knock down borders to get here? And at the same time, you have young people coming out of the universities embracing big government socialism, wanting what they're running away from. It's ridiculous. This is just a small part of that. Just a small part of that. I say we don't need to increase anything. If anything, we need to look at ways to shrink government, and everybody needs to be responsible. Look at your own speedometer. Thanks.
Mayor, as I always say, I disagree with you. If we don't go for it, there's another jurisdiction that will go for it, and people don't pay attention. They don't slow down on their own.
I forgot to say she was going to say that. Now, are you going to jump in with yours?
No.
Anyway.
I'm going to leave it alone tonight.
If there is no further discussion.
The only thing I want to say is the comparative analogy is if we don't embrace this cancer, somebody else will. We'll let them. If somebody doesn't stand up and say it, say we don't want it, everybody else should say we don't want it, send the taxpayer their money back. Anyway.
In a perfect world, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, Steve.
But we don't live in a perfect
Chief,
world.
do you want a response to that at all? Or?
This is nothing against you, Chief. This is absolutely nothing against you or the police.
Mayor, I don't think I have any words.
If we pull all the police, if you send all your guys home for a month, you think that people would be responsible enough?
That is such a false analogy.
Well, I'm just wondering.
That's a false analogy.
You know, no more faults than yours.
We've lost our rationality. That is not.
It's a matter of opinion. I mean, I personally think if you send all the cops home for a month, crime won't go down.
That is such a false analogy.
Anyway, thank you for your opinion. Okay, are we ready? You guys want to do something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you make the motion?
I tried, but he interrupted. So.
Can I say one last thing?
Whatever.
Just one last thing. No, seriously. This is why, and two reasons why it's wrong, and it's if I leave any legacy behind, so I don't have to worry about you voting for me anymore. If I leave any legacy behind, there's two reasons why it's wrong. Number one, it's not the government's role. We should provide justice for the citizens. That's Deuteronomy 16:19. That's the Bible. That's the only role for government. Number two, it's not American history or our American heritage. Like I said, I gave you one quote already. I give you a ton that they ran away from big government tyranny. And they knew full well everyone must be morally and ethically responsible for their own actions. You cannot trade security for liberty for security, you end up with tyranny. That's it. Thanks.
Okay.
Actually, I think George Soros is paying them to come up here.
I have no doubt. So let's not just jump on his team.
Okay, we don't want to be here all night. So, I move to approve item number 15 as read.
And I second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Thank you.
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, and council members, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, where are we? Business under regular items, number 19, ordinance number 18-18, an ordinance of the City of Coolidge, Arizona, amending section 302 of the City of Coolidge zoning code to revise the definition of garage private. Okay, anybody have anything they want to say about
I had all my questions
the
answered
revision?
earlier. So.
No, sir.
Okay.
Gilbert, I just don't know how you're going to ever, how many code enforcement people do we have?
Half.
Okay. How many garages do we have?
Mayor Thompson, we have a lot of garages. I think there's
I
3,000
just- I know, I just-
households, so
It just seems like the dog's chasing the car and he caught him. You know, I mean,
we keep trying.
well, yeah, I know. Okay. Anyway, I don't have a problem, with this. I just wondered if it was going to conflict with any of the HOA regulations or any of that. And I know that happens at times, especially the ones that say you can't park on the streets, but the garage is full of everything except vehicles, and then they still park wherever. So I don't, I guess HOAs are probably more apt to take care of that than I think. Our police department doesn't get involved in that, does it, Chief? I'm sorry, sir? If an HOA has a regulation that they're not supposed to be, their cars must be in the garage at night in that subdivision, but they're parking on the streets, we leave it up to the HOA to take care of that. The police department doesn't come in and write citations, do they?
Unless they're illegally parked.
Okay, like if they're going the wrong way on the floor. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so, all right, anybody have anything they want to add, or do I get a motion?
Mayor, with no further discussion, I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 18-18 as read.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right.
Councilmember Hudson,
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry,
Yes.
and Mayor Thompson.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
This is a report from the mayor, council, and/or city manager. We'll start down here with Councilmember Hudson.
Yeah, I went to the Pinal Partnership breakfast meeting with Nicola, and I also want to thank Mayor Thompson, like Lynn Parsons said. The city staff and the council came together, and not only with them, but the county, the Arizona Commerce Department, and then a good friend, Jakob Anderson. He's been a great partner for Pinal County and the city of Coolidge. There's greater things to come, but Mayor, you recognizing the staff and the council, it's things most people wouldn't do. They want to take all the glory to themselves, and I appreciate that very much. The interesting thing I found out about that is they asked him, Mr. Anderson, how he found out about Nicola. And he went on YouTube and found a presentation. Now, this guy is a multi-millionaire, and to sit there at nighttime when you're at home and get on YouTube and find this, and he called the company the next day and says, you need to come out to Arizona. I got some property I need you to look at. We were blessed that it didn't go through Buckeye, and to move to Coolidge, and in a short period of time, which was unheard of, everybody coming together as a partnership to make this a great thing for the city of Coolidge was amazing. And I just want to thank everybody, and Mr. Anderson, you are an asset to Pinal County and the city of Coolidge, and there's greater things to come, I'm sure, from him. And then I also want to thank the city staff for putting together the shots for pneumonia and for the flu, and tennis shots. It's kind of like preventative maintenance on an automobile. You spend a little bit of money to save a lot down the road. And I hope that the employees of Coolidge went out, and I was the first one there, and then after me, a couple of other people came down. But I mean, it's going to save on health care, and it's going to save on the hours that you miss on work. And I just hope that we can continue doing this in the future. Thank you very much.
I just want to echo what Steve was saying about Jakob Anderson and Rick and the mayor. First of all, notice that Jakob Anderson is a private individual, and he is very he's wealthy. He knows how to manage money, and he's doing it to make money. And oftentimes we have put forth that wealthy people are bad because they're greedy and on and on. You see how much we're getting blessed by a guy who stayed up late, working hard, looking for opportunities. He did that. He did that. We should not allow people to just decry those guys for working hard. It's a good thing. And Rick and the mayor were working to also find and work with guys like that. Coolidge benefits from that kind of working together. And I'm just thankful for guys that are out there that are looking for those opportunities. Thankful for you guys working well with them.
I would like to also add Gilbert. He works with them, the three of them.
Yes,
And
I'm sorry.
echo Steve's comments. I was able to attend the Lifeline ribbon cutting, the Pinal Partnership breakfast, and I took advantage of the shots. And boy, my arms have been sore.
I know too.
And that's all.
Mr. Miller?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, a few of our staff people went to the Pinal County Town Hall to participate in that. It was a great presentation and discussion about being civil, acting civilly. And I thought it was very, very good speakers. Also attended the Pinal Partnership breakfast, and one thing that I think caught Chuck Watson off guard, former council member, was recognized by the Pinal Partnership. And he just was speechless, and tears came to his eyes, and it was just neat to see the Pinal Partnership recognize Chuck Watson during that big outing. So it was good. Kudos to him, and kudos to Coolidge. Very, very proud. That's all I have, Mayor.
It was a historic moment to see Chuck speechless. I've never seen him speechless. And I would be remiss if I didn't notice this very good-looking individual sitting over here next to Mr. Miller. We have the better half of the Fitzgibbons Law Firm, and I want to publicly state that and recognize you. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks, Mayor. It's good to be here tonight. I get here about once a year, and
Yeah.
usually the meetings don't go this long. But
I know. Gilbert's slowing me down.
and I want to make sure that's in the minutes, the better half of Fitzgibbons, so that Dennis can read it.
That's, I'm sure it will be included. So, since we have received the agreement, we signed the agreement with Nicola, we have been rather busy. There has been a lot of activity, and we spend a lot of time meeting with other developers now, and people coming in wanting to do different projects. So that takes up a majority of our time, but I did attend the ribbon cutting at the airport for the Air Medical Services, which is another helicopter service that will airlift people that are injured or sick out of Coolidge. And then we needed another one. As a matter of fact, we needed a couple of them yesterday or the day before when we had that wreck by the cemetery. I know two of them were involved in that. Isn't that right, Chief? There was two? Yeah. So when those two are busy doing something else, there's still one in this tri-community, Florence, Coolidge, and Casa Grande area. There was one left. So if both of them would have left before they got here, then if something happened, you'd have been out without a ride to the hospital. And I did speak on the panel with the Pinal Partnership with a bunch of guys that are true professionals and heavy hitters in their profession, and it was a nice experience. Today we met with the president of Arizona Water Company to have a discussion and get to the bottom of some of the issues we're having with water. I think it went very well. And that's all I have. So if there's nothing further, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to congratulate our new member of our Coolidge staff back there. And it's not too many of them that come and sit through a whole meeting. Yeah, I know it. And so I appreciate you, and good luck. I look forward to working with you. If there's nothing further, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Good enough. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys.